Hello, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be explaining the laws of logarithms. So let us dive right in. The very first law of logarithm, which is referred to as the product law, says that if we have log n to base a plus log n, this is n to base a, this is the same thing as we take one of the logs times n over a. So what this law means is that whenever we have logs to the same base that are being added, we take one of the logs and then we multiply the numbers as it is here. So an example will be, for instance, if we have log 25 to base 3 plus log 2 to base 3. This will be, so long as the logs are of the same base, you take one of the bases. So that will be log base 3. We multiply the numbers. 25 times 2 will give us 50. So now the second law is called the quotient law. And now it is expressed like this. We have log n to base a minus log n to base a. This is the same thing as log m divided by n to base a. What this means is that whenever we have two logs that are being subtracted that are of the same base, we take one of the logs and then we divide the numbers, beginning with the first number. Alright, an example will be, we can have, this is an example, we can have log, say, 10 to base 2 minus log 5, log 5 to base 2. Now, this one will be, so long as the logs are of the same base, you take one of the logs and then we divide the numbers. That will be 10 divided by 5 to base 2. So now 10 divided by 5 is obviously 2. Alright, so this is log 2 to base 2. And this can be simplified further. But let us see the third law. Now, the third law says log m to base m is equal to 1. That means whenever the number of a log and the base is the same, the answer will be 1. Alternatively, you can look at this as, the logarithm of a number is the power to which the base must be raised to get back the number. Now, the base of this logarithm is m. Now, to what power must m be raised to get back m? So, in this case, the only power that m can assume or can take to get back m is 1. Alright? So, we can see that if this law is applied to this example we solve, log 2 to 2, log 2 to base 2 will give us 1. Alright? So now, let us look at the fourth law. Now, the fourth law can be written as this. The fourth law is log 1 to base a is equal to 0. Now, the log of 1 to any base is 0. And now, to interpret this, we can say, okay, we can use the definition of what logarithm is to explain this. Now, what will be the power that a will be raised to give us 1? The only power that a can assume to give us 1 is 0, because of course a raised to power 0 is 1. Okay, so in logarithms, the log of 1 to any base is equal to 0. So that's pretty much the fourth law. So now let's look at the fifth law. The fifth law says that if we have log of a number raised to a power to a base, now this power of the number x can be brought back to the front of the log, and that will be equal to x log m to base a. The same way, you can also move this one back to get back this expression. An example would be that, for instance, if you have log 5 raised to power 2 to base 3, you can bring these 2 behind the log, so that will be the same thing as 2 log 5 to base 3. Okay, so now let us look at an example to this very particular case. Can be, you can have log 1 to 5, and log 1 to 5 is what? 0. So when the log of 1 to any base is 0. Now let us look at this is the fifth law. Let's look at the sixth law. Now the sixth law is change of base. It is not all time we work with logarithms that are expressed to the same base. Sometimes the base can be different, and you'll be required to change one of the logs or more to a particular base for the question to be easier for you to solve. Now if we have log of m to base a, for instance, now this log, you can change the base. This one is the same thing as you can change. If let's assume we want to change this base a to any given base x, for instance, all we do is to say this one is equal to, we take the log of m to that new base x over, we take the log of a to that new base x. By so doing, we have changed the base. Now let me give you an example of something like this. Now, change of base. Now we can have log, let's say log 100 to base 10 plus log 10 to base 5. Now we can see readily that if we ask to simplify this, you can see that this base and this base, they are not the same. So all we need to do is that we can either change this base to base 5, or we can change base 5 to base 10. And how do we do that? If we are to change base 5 to base 10, what we simply do is that we write this one as, obviously these two logs cannot be added because they have different bases. Now if we are to change this base 5 to base 10, we now have log 100 to base 10 plus, we take the log of 10 to the new base. Now, remember, we are changing this base to what? To base 10. So we take the log of this 10 to the new base 10, all over, we take the log of what? 5, the base, to the new base 10. So by so doing, we have made the log to have the same base as base 10. Now what we do is this, we simplify further, that is log 100 to base 10 plus, now log 10 to base 10, we remember there's a law that says that whenever you have whenever the log of the number and the base is the same, it is 1. So log 10 to 10 is log 10 to base 10 is 1 all over log 5 to base 10. So you can see this is pretty much how you can change the base of a logarithm from one base to another base. So I wouldn't want this video to be longer than this. So if you find this video useful, I would like you to comment on this video, click on the like button below, and don't forget to click on the notification bell icon below, and subscribe to this channel so that you get notified each time I upload a video like this. In our next video, I'm going to be taking questions on logarithms and applying the laws of logarithms to solve questions. So without much ado, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.